Beginning, far below the white-capped waves, the youngest daughter of the Sea King tended a garden of red coral and blue sea flowers. While her older sisters braided their hair with sea lilies and raced dolphins through green tunnels of kelp, she listened to her grandmother's tales of the world above, ringing church bells, warm bread, roses that smelled of sun, and humans whose brief lives carried a strange gift called a soul. On her 15th birthday she rose to the surface, hid behind a foam-sprayed rock, and saw a great ship strung with lanterns. Music drifted across the water, and on deck a young prince laughed among his guests. A storm cracked the mast and the waves turned black, the ship split like a toy. The sea swallowed the dancers. The little mermaid fought the surf, held the prince's head above water, and dragged him onto a quiet beach. She watched, unseen, as a girl from a nearby convent ran to help him. The prince opened his eyes and smiled at the wrong face, and the mermaid slipped back into the deep, carrying his smile like a secret. After that night she could not be content with shell and seaweed. She hovered near the surface, listening to sailors' songs and watching the prince's castle from the harbor shadows. She wanted him, and she wanted the kind of life that did not end in silence, for mermaids lived 300 years yet dissolved into foam when their time was done. Her grandmother explained that a mermaid might gain an immortal soul only through a human's true love, when a human loved her more than father or mother and bound his life to hers. Driven by hope, she sought the sea witch, whose house was built of ship bones and guarded by polyp that reached like fingers. The witch brewed a potion from bitter herbs, burning salt, and a drop of the mermaid's blood. "Drink this at sunrise," she said, "and your tail will split into 2 legs. But every step will feel as if you tread on knives, and you will never speak again. If the prince marries you, you will share his soul, if he marries another, you will die with the morning after his wedding." The mermaid let the witch cut out her voice, and the sea itself seemed to hush. At dawn she drank the potion on the shore. Pain tore through her, and when she woke she lay as a human girl with legs where her tail had been. The prince found her and, thinking her an orphan, carried her to his palace. She could not tell him she had saved him, she could only look at him with pleading eyes. He was kind, calling her his little foundling, dressing her in silk and teaching her to dance. Each step burned, yet she smiled, because being near him was the only language she had left. Often he spoke of the girl who had saved him, wishing to find her again, and the mermaid's silent heart clenched, still she hoped. Seasons passed. She walked beside him through marble halls and moonlit gardens, hearing him call her his dearest friend. When he took her on a ship, she sat at the prow and felt the wind like a promise, believing that one day his heart would finally choose her. Even her pain became a secret discipline, she never limped, so he would not pity her. Never. Not once. The court announced that the prince must marry a princess from a neighboring kingdom. He met her and believed she was his rescuer, because she had been at the convent that morning and spoke of finding him on the beach. Joyfully he pledged himself. The mermaid felt the bargain closing in, if he married another, she would die at sunrise and become foam. On the wedding night she stood on the deck beside the torches, steadying herself on feet that burned, and watched the prince lead his bride below. Then her sisters rose out of the waves, their long hair shorn. They had traded it to the witch for a knife. "Spill his blood upon your feet," they begged, "and you will be a mermaid again." The mermaid crept to the sleeping prince, raised the blade, and saw his trusting face. She kissed his brow, turned away, and threw the knife into the sea. With dawn she stepped overboard. Her body dissolved into white foam, yet she did not vanish. She rose as a spirit of the air, and heard that through gentle deeds and patience she might earn the soul she sought, not by taking a life, but by choosing love without reward.